Have you ever wondered why defenders look like they're standing still when Vinicius Junior starts to drive? Why world-class athletes, players who spent decades refining their defensive positioning, suddenly appear frozen in time? It isn't just raw talent. It isn't just Brazilian flair. Vinicius Junior is literally using Olympic sprint mechanics to weaponize his dribbling. He doesn't just run with the ball. He sprints with it, applying biomechanical principles that 100-meter finalists used to break world records. Today, we're dissecting the science of the Vini burst, how a low center of gravity, active dorsiflexion, and track-inspired posture allow him to maintain elite velocity while keeping the ball glued to his feet. This is the hidden science behind football's most explosive winger. Let's establish the athletic profile we're dealing with. Vinicius Junior has been clocked at 36 kilometers per hour. That's 22.4 miles per hour. To put that in perspective, Usain Bolt's average speed during his 9.58 world record was 37.6 kilometers per hour. Vinicius is operating at 96% of peak Olympic velocity while controlling a football. But here's what separates him from other fast players. He doesn't just reach this speed in a straight line. He maintains it through aggressive lateral cuts, tight spaces, and while executing skills. This shouldn't be physically possible. The secret starts with his low center of gravity. At 5 feet 9 inches, Vinicius carries a compact, powerful build that allows him to decelerate and reaccelerate in ways that taller, leggier players cannot. When he drops his hips to change direction, he's not losing momentum. He's storing it like a coiled spring. Watch this comparison. The taller player plants his foot, rises up, then has to rebuild momentum. Vinicius stays low, his head never rising above the defender's shoulder level. The energy transfers horizontally rather than vertically wasted. This creates what biomechanics call the stability paradox. His core remains perfectly still, almost eerily calm, while his limbs move at maximum frequency. His torso acts as a fixed axis, while his legs generate propulsion. This is exactly what you see in 100-meter finalists, the upright pillar posture that minimizes energy leakage. The result? Defenders aren't just beaten for pace, they're beaten for rhythm. Vinicius doesn't accelerate past them. He maintains velocity through zones where they expect him to slow down. By the time they realize he's not decelerating, he's already 3 meters clear. Now we get technical. There's a specific mechanical action that separates elite sprinters from fast amateurs, and Vinicius has mastered it. Active dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion is the upward bending of the foot, pulling your toes toward your shin. In sprinting, this creates a spring-like effect upon ground contact, instead of the foot slapping the ground and absorbing force. The stiff ankle acts as a lever that immediately redirects energy back into forward propulsion. Watch Vinicius' foot in the milliseconds before ground contact. His toes are pointed up, his ankle locked. This isn't natural, it's trained. Most footballers point their toes down when running, which increases ground contact time and kills momentum. Vinicius maintains dorsiflexion even while dribbling. But here's the genius. He times his ball touches to occur during the flight phase of his sprinting stride, that brief moment when both feet are off the ground. Traditional wingers touch the ball during the stance phase, when one foot is planted. This creates a split second of deceleration. Vinicius touches the ball while airborne, meaning there's no mechanical braking. Look at this sequence. Foot leaves ground, ball is touched, opposite foot strikes. The touch happens in the dead zone between propulsion phases. The ball never slows him down because he's not using his dribbling foot to generate speed. He's using his sprinting mechanics. The ball simply comes along for the ride. Contrast this with traditional wingers who reach for the ball, plant heavy, then push off. Each touch is a micro break. Vinicius' touches are micro accelerations. The ball stays close not because he's controlling it with his foot, but because his stride frequency is so high that he meets the ball before it can roll away. The final piece is his upright torso alignment, what sprint coaches call the Olympic pillar. Look at Vinicius at full speed. His head is stacked over his shoulders over his hips over his toes. This isn't just aesthetic. It's functional engineering. This posture serves 3 critical functions. First, oxygen intake. An upright torso allows full lung expansion. When players hunch forward, a common error when dribbling at speed, they compress their diaphragm and limit oxygen flow. Vinicius can maintain his top speed for longer distances because he's breathing efficiently. Visual. Heat map showing Vinicius' long carries into final third. Second, balance. The vertical alignment creates a pendulum effect. His arms counterbalance his legs without lateral sway. This is why he can scan the pitch at high speeds. His head remains stable while his lower body operates on track-influenced muscle memory. He's processing visual information while his legs run on autopilot. Third, high knee drive. This is where the physics gets beautiful. Vinicius' knee lift isn't just for show. It creates the necessary downward force to explode past defenders from a standstill. When that dorsiflex foot strikes the ground beneath the center of mass, the vertical force vector propels him forward with minimal ground contact time. Watch this freeze frame. Knee angle at 90 degrees, thigh parallel to ground, foot dorsiflexed. This is identical to mechanics of a 100-meter finalist at the 60-meter mark, maximum velocity phase. But Vinicius is doing this while navigating a defender who thinks he's about to cut inside. The high knee drive also serves a defensive purpose. It protects the ball by lifting his knee aggressively. He's creating a barrier between the ball and the tackling foot. Defenders can't reach around his stride without committing a foul. This is why Vinicius draws so many fouls in dangerous areas. Defenders have to lunge because they can't time their tackle against his stride frequency. He's not just beating them with speed. He's beating them with mechanical efficiency. There's one final layer that separates Vinicius from other fast players: neuromuscular coordination. When most players dribble at speed, their brain is processing two separate tasks, running and ball control. This creates cognitive load that manifests as mechanical hesitation. Vinicius has trained these actions into a single motor pattern. Through thousands of hours of repetition, his sprinting mechanics and ball touches have fused into one instinctive movement. He doesn't think about dribbling while sprinting. He just sprints and the ball stays with him. Studies on elite athletes show that experts chunk complex movements into single units. What looks like two actions, sprinting and dribbling, is actually one action, sprint dribbling. His brain fires a pattern as a single command rather than sequential instructions. This is why he can make decisions at full speed, while other players are processing run then control then decide. Vinicius is already executing. The defender is still reacting to his first movement, while Vinicius is on to his third. Look at this clip. He receives the ball facing his own goal, turns, and within 3 strides he's at maximum velocity. The first defender commits to a challenge. Vinicius is already past. The second tries to angle him. Vinicius knee drive shield the ball. The third attempt a tactical foul. Vinicius dorsiflex foot strikes the ground so quickly that the contact window has closed. 3 defenders, 3 different approaches, all neutralized by the same mechanical principles. Vinicius Junior isn't just fast. He's efficient. In an era where physical preparation has become scientific, he's a prototype for the next evolution of wingers. Players who don't sacrifice speed for control, who weaponize biomechanics rather than just relying on genetics. What we're witnessing is the fusion of track and field precision with football's creative chaos. The dorsiflexion, the pillar posture, the stability paradox. These aren't accidents. They're the result of deliberate training that treats dribbling not as a skill separate from running, but as an extension of sprinting mechanics. For young players watching, you can't copy Vinicius' genetics, but you can copy his mechanics. Practice dorsiflexion until it becomes automatic. Train your posture until the upright torso feels natural at speed. Work on your core stability so your upper body remains calm while your legs explode. The future of football speed isn't about being born fast. It's about being mechanically literate, understanding that every millisecond of ground contact, every degree of knee drive, every angle of dorsiflexion is an opportunity to gain an edge. Vinicius Junior has turned the wing into a sprinting lane. Defenders aren't just beaten. They're outclassed by pure biomechanical brilliance. This is the hidden science of speed. This is why they can't catch him. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more biomechanical breakdowns of football's most unique talents, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. The next evolution of tactical analysis is here, and it's moving at 36 kilometers per hour.